Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video I'm going to be doing like a mini frontal ventilation tutorial. Okay, I'm basically going to be answering some questions that I was asked in my previous video. So I got some questions that I want to answer during the course of this tutorial. So if you're interested, please keep on watching. So guys, the first question I was asked is how I place the frontal lace on the mannequin head. Okay, so I ventilate using my wig stand, and this is how I place the mannequin head and the frontal lace while I'm ventilating. It might be different if you are using like that box stuff, I don't know what it's called, or you're using something else. And I also think that this is actually because I am right-handed. So if you're left-handed, the positioning might also be different for you. Okay, so normally the face of the mannequin is usually facing my right hand side. So when I sit, I place the face of the mannequin head facing my right hand side. So for the lace, this is just basically, this is a 13x4 lace. I cut it out of the regular Swiss lace. So this is the front part of the lace and this is the back part. So the front part is also facing the part where the face of the mannequin is facing. So I'm just going to place it there and then pin it just before the ear. So I'll stretch it out properly. So I'm going to, you want to ensure that you stretch it out properly, but don't overstretch it. Just stretch it out so it's not slacking, if that makes any sense. So I'm going to get more pins, and mind you, if you want to buy tools, I also sell tools on my page. The Instagram handle is up, so if you're interested you can hit me up. So I'm using my pin now to just basically stretch all the sides of the lace and pinning them. So guys, this is what it's looking like so far. I already marked out where I'm going to ventilate. Okay, you can see the concealer marking on the lace. I already marked out the parts that I want to ventilate. So the next question is how I space my ventilation. Okay, so the spacing depends on the pattern of ventilation you're using. Okay, different pattern of ventilation, different spacing pattern. So for the course of this video, I'm going to be showing you guys two patterns, which is the horizontal ventilation pattern and the vertical ventilation pattern. Okay, and I'm going to also show you how I space for both patterns. So I already zoomed it out so you can see what I'm doing. So for the horizontal pattern is actually ventilating across this line, and the vertical one is ventilating across this line. So I'm going to start with the vertical pattern for you guys. So mind you, I'm not ventilating the hairline because the client requested that I use human hair for the hairline. So I'm just starting from the inside part because the hairline part is going to be ventilated with human hair and not braiding hair. So I'm just showing you how I ventilate the back part of the lace. So for the vertical pattern, you can see the lines running vertically like this. So if you want to ventilate across this line, you're going to start from the very first hole. So like I said, I'm not starting from the front because I'm going to use human hair for the front. So I'm just starting from here. So I'm starting from the first line. And for the amount of hair that I pick, because I was also asked this question, how many strands of hair, for the hairline I usually pick about 1 to 2 strands of hair, and for this back part I usually pick about 2 to 3 strands of hair. Okay, so I already ventilated the first line. If you want a detailed tutorial on how I do all of the picking, the tying of the knots and everything, I have that video up on my channel already. I'm going to link it down so you can check the video out. So I'm done with the first line. Let me check if you can see. Yeah, okay, so I'm done with the first line. I'm going to skip the next line and move over to the third one and then ventilate. So after that, I skip the fourth one and move over to the fifth one and ventilate. I skip the sixth one and move over to the seventh one and ventilate. Okay, so I skip the eighth one and move over to the ninth one and ventilate. So now that I'm done with this first line, because this is where the marking stopped, it depends on where you want to stop. So this is a 13 by 4 lace frontal, like I said, and this is how I marked it. So when I'm done with the first line, I skip the next line and I go over to the third line. Okay, so it all depends on how dense or how full you want the lace to be. So I'm just repeating the same process that I used for the first line. Skip one line, go back to the next one, skip one line and go back to the next one. So I'm going to continue like that till I also get to the last line on this line. Okay, so yeah, I see this is how it is. So now I'm done with the second line. I'll skip the next line. I'm going to skip the next line and move over to the next one. So guys, I use this vertical method mostly when my clients want to use the frontal or the lace for braided wigs, because they somehow prefer this the lace that I ventilate like this, because they say it gives them like a straight line effect when they part their braids. So that's just basically when I use this method. So you can see this is the vertical method. Ventilate one line, skip one line, ventilate one line, skip one line. That's how I do it for this one, as you can see. So guys, the next method I'll be showing you guys is how to do the ventilation horizontally, for those who would prefer the horizontal method. So guys, for the horizontal method, I had no idea I wasn't recording while I was filming it before, so I had to re-record to show you guys what I'm doing. So this is the horizontal method. So I'm going to just show you guys what I did. Okay. So for the horizontal method, so let's assume this is the first line we're starting with. So we're going to pick one line on the line you're starting with and ventilate it. Okay, so after ventilating that first line, you're going to skip the next line and go to the third one and ventilate. So you're going to skip the fourth one and go to the fifth one and ventilate. And ventilate. So you want to ensure the lines you're ventilating are the same with the previous line, like it's on a straight line with the one that you've been ventilating before. So you have this straight line effect that you can see here. Okay, so I'm going to skip the next line now and go to the next one and ventilate. Skip the next line, go to the next one and ventilate. Skip the next one, go to the next one and ventilate like that. Just continue like that till you get to the ending part. Okay, so now that we are done, so now that you are done with the first line, moving on to the second line, this is what you want to do. So when you get to the second line, you want to skip that line you ventilated initially and go to the next line after it. Okay, so I'm skipping this line. I'm going to the next line that I did not ventilate during the first ventilation. And when I get to this second line, I'm going to skip one line first and ventilate the next one. So I'm going to continue like that. Always remember to skip one line and go to the next one. Okay, so this is what it's looking like currently. So now that we're done with this line, we move over to the very first line that we ventilated. So this line we just ventilated now, we are going to skip it and go back to the very first line that we ventilated. I hope you understand what I'm explaining because I'm trying my best to explain it. So we're going back to this very first line that we ventilated and skipped before. So we're going back to it. I hope you can see, guys. So when you go back to this line, you want to skip one hole. So now we are skipping one hole, which is equivalent to 2 lines. So you're either skipping 2 lines or you're skipping one hole. Okay, so now we are going to the next one and ventilate. So we are skipping the one we ventilated before. We are going to the third line. So when you're at the third line, you skip one hole and ventilate. So skip the fourth line and go to the fifth line. Then in the fifth line, we skip one hole and ventilate. So we skip the sixth line and go to the seventh line. In the seventh line, you skip one hole and ventilate. So you skip the eighth line and go to the ninth line. In the ninth line, you skip one hole and ventilate. So you're just going to continue like that till you get to the end. So this is what the horizontal method is looking like, and this is what the vertical method is looking like. So let me know which of the two of them you prefer and which of the two of them you're going to be trying. So that's all for today's video, guys. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel for more amazing content, and bye.